Alright, inner tubes. We are going naked. Hold on to your socks. Why is that high beam on? Oh, there it is. Alright, so Honda CB650R. And this thing is very different. Why? Well, listen up. That is an inline 4-cylinder. Nice big gear indicator. And that is different from any other bike in the 650 class because they're all twins, and this one is bigger, heavier. It's a 4, and it makes more power at the top of the rev range. Feeling a little vibe right in the crotch area. Not unpleasant, mind you. Nice dash. That is nice. But yeah, you feel those vibrations. Not too much fancy stuff on this bike. Just your basics. Tach, clock, gear indicator, speedo. And here we go. Nice and smooth. Oh, what a pleasant little bike. Sitting right up front on it. It is beautiful, by the way. It's a great looking bike. The 4s can be real pussycats at lower revs, but they hit the high revs and whoa, bam, gone. Yeah, it's a totally different feel than a twin. Some people say the 4 doesn't have any character, that the engines lack character, they're more sewing machine-like. I disagree. They have their own character, especially when you put a pipe on it. My old Honda F4 had a nice Akrapovic pipe, and it sounded great. Well, it's got some kick at higher revs. 5,000 RPM, and it really wants to pull hard. Alright, so the bike is refined. The clutch is super light. Everything works well. Typical Honda. No issues with a Honda. It's probably the most reliable bike you can get, although I think Yamahas are up there as well. But Hondas, just their fit and finish is very impressive. The dash is visible even in bright sunlight. Almost any light. It's well designed. You got a little temperature gauge there too. Man, this clutch is light. You could sit out of light with this clutch in and your hand will never get tired. So if you short shift this thing, it's going to be a very gentle bike indeed, but as soon as you get higher in the revs, it's not so gentle anymore. Pop it down into 4th here. Yeah, it's got plenty of poke. It's more powerful than an SV650. Oh, the engine braking, you can really feel it when you roll off the throttle. So it's more powerful than an SV650 or a Z650. Here we go. We'll try it out in some curves. Super well planted. Very well planted. Very smooth too. Handlebar is narrow. I like them a little wider than this, but that's easily changed. But yeah, man, it's on rails. It really is. It's unbelievably planted in the turn. For a little bike like this, they tend to wander around. I just rode a Scrambler Icon, and that was a little bit twitchy in the turn. Maybe it's the off-road tires that it's got. But this thing, it's definitely heavier than the competition. It's definitely heavier than, say, a KTM 790. It feels heavier. It feels a little slower steering. But in long sweepers, this thing is really well sorted out. Here we go. Yeah, fourth gear at this speed is pretty good. It's plenty of power available. It'll pull hard-ish. You know, it's not a 600cc sport bike, but it's plenty entertaining for the street. So the seat is relatively low. I'll put the specs in the description of the video below. But just by the seat of my pants, my knees are nicely bent, and there doesn't appear to be any issue. The mirrors are excellent, very smooth. People who say the Ford doesn't have any character are out in left field as far as I'm concerned. Are you serious? The Ford doesn't have any character? It's got plenty of character. Twist the throttle at 8,000 RPM and then tell me the Ford doesn't have any character. This is the bike for somebody who wants a 650, but in a bit of a different trim, a different feel. The 4-cylinder feel, the top-end rush. Smooth, endless power. Well, it does end, but by the time it ends, you're in license-losing territory. For the road, it might as well be endless. Comfortable seating position. Very nice. The seat's a bit hard. I don't know how long I would be comfortable on this seat, but it's nice and flat. You can move around on it. You can move back and forth on it depending on your size and where you want to sit, but it is a little on the tough side. So this bike is going to be a bit more expensive than other bikes in this category. It's just that there's more complexity in the 4-cylinder engine. It's a little heavier. It's a little more expensive to manufacture a 4 rather than a twin like the competition. But the 4s have their own unique personality, and they scream. If you like an engine that screams, you can actually hear this engine pretty well with the stock pipe. I would not want to put too loud a pipe on this thing, because then it's just annoying. And it's very simple. Like I said, no rider modes, nothing too fancy. Of course, it's got ABS. I think that's all it's got. Correct me in the comments if it has traction control. I don't think it does. So, heat coming up from the engine. I do feel some on my shins, especially my left shin. It's a 4, it's a wide engine, so it actually sticks out the sides much more than a twin. And so when it throws off heat, a lot more of it is going to find your leg. Tall first gear, we're going 37, 38 kilometers per hour, 48 in first gear. and that's when it starts making enough noise for you to start going, all right, it's time to shift. If you're going for a ride with the sport bike crowd on a road at road speeds, even if they're a little extra legal, you will have no problem keeping up on this bike. Like so. 3,000 to 4,000 RPM. If you're a beginner, you put this bike here and it'll just smoothly ride where you want it to ride. Once you get over 6, you're gonna notice a difference, but at this speed, this could totally be ridden by a beginner. Now, if you're very small, if you're a shorter person, yeah, you can get along with this bike. If you're a lighter person and you need a lighter bike, then I would recommend one of the twin cylinder models. They are going to be a lot more, a lot lighter. The extra weight actually makes it a little bit more planted on the road. That's your extreme. On a curve though, it's actually nicer to rev it a little bit lower so that the engine is a little bit less sensitive. But yeah, so if you want more instant torque, you're gonna want a twin. If you want a top end hit and don't mind a little extra weight, then this is your bike. And if you want something pretty, well, this is your bike too. You're really out in the wind though. You're really out in the wind on this bike. There's not much wind protection at all. Might want a fly screen or something like that here. Just to take a little wind off your chest at least. It's fine for a regular road, but you take this on the highway and it's certainly capable of extreme highway speeds. And you will be hanging on to these handlebars. So, the Honda CB650R. What do I think of this bike? Well, it's got some good points and it's got some drawbacks. First, let's start with the good points. So, we've got a really good looking bike, and it is a bike that is put together with typical Honda quality. Looks good, feels good, buttoned down. All of those things are present, and it's definitely fun to ride. It's definitely more powerful than some of the other 650 competition. However, now let's get to some of the drawbacks. First of all, the price. It is more expensive than the other bikes in its class. it's definitely pricier than all those 2-cylinder 650s. Another drawback, it's heavier. It's noticeably heavier than its competition. Of course, because it's got a bigger engine, it's got more power, it's got to be built in a more sturdy way. So guys, thanks for watching. Different Spokes signing off. Please like, comment, subscribe. I always appreciate your support on this channel, and may the spokes be with you.